Hi everyone and welcome back. Mindy with Mindy Eggen Design, and today I'm going to be creating a card using a stamp set from the StampTV kit from Gina K Designs. This was released in September 2018, and I'm going to show you how I created my bokeh background. So this is the stamp set. It is a very large stamp set, so you're getting a great deal for your money. Some beautiful images and these gorgeous sentiments. You can see I've used it quite a few times. And what I'm going to start off doing is stamping my image. So I'm using the Gina K Designs Amalgam ink. I have a piece of Neenah Solar White cardstock loaded into my MISTI there. And I'm just inking up my stamp, pushing down really good, and then I'm going to set that off on the side while I work on my background. I'm going to start off with a piece of cardstock here. This is Bristol Smooth cardstock. I like using this cardstock for ink blending, and it is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm starting out by laying down a layer of Twisted Citron Distress Oxide ink, and I just put that all over the back, and I got lighter handed as I went towards the bottom because I kind of want it to taper off. Then I'll come in with Lucky Clover, and same thing, I'm just laying down a color right on top of that Twisted Citron, bringing that down, and as I get closer, I'm going to do a light hand because I still want to see the Twisted Citron at the bottom. I'm just going to clean up my mat here real quick so I don't mix up my colors too much. I want the mixing to stay on the cardstock. And then I'm going to come in with the Mermaid Lagoon, and I'm adding that to the very top. So I have an ombre effect, so I'm getting gradually lighter as I go down the panel of the cardstock. And I'll come back in with my blending tool and my jumbo dauber, and I'm just evening out that blend a little bit, making it a smooth transition between each color. Once that's done, I'm taking white pigment ink. Now this is a really juicy ink. It stays wet longer, and I'm taking my jumbo dauber and I dipped it into the white ink pad, and you can see I squished it down onto my glass mat. That way I don't have to go back and forth to my ink pad all the time and get green ink all over my white ink pad. And I just pushed my dauber down and twisted, and that'll leave me little circles. Then I'll come in with a mini sponge dauber, and I did the same thing. You can see off on the side, I just picked up a bunch of white color, and I just pushing down and twisting. Some will be a little darker, some will be very faint, and I can go back over to my glass mat and pick up more color when I need it. And then some of the circles I'll overlap or I'll have on their own, also hanging off the edge of the card. So I have more of a scattered pattern. And I was trying to do this with a pencil eraser, which I know can be done, but my pencil eraser was kind of hard. It wasn't the real nice soft kind, so it wasn't working out for me. I just came back in with my mini sponge dauber and kind of softened that up into a better circle. Leaving my background to dry, I'm going to come in and color my pears now. So I'm using my Copic markers, and I'm just laying down a color, my lightest color, which is the YG01, and I'm just coloring right over the top of the entire fruit, so both of the pears. Then I'll come in with a YG25, and I'm just adding that to the darkest side of the pear. So I'm kind of following where the illustrator had indicated the darker sides would be. And I'm just laying down that color. I'm not even going to blend that out. I'm just going to leave that there, so that there's a nice distinction between the lighter and the darker color. Then for the leaves, I just went in with a G09. I didn't do any blending. I didn't add any other colors. I just wanted to have a color in there. So I just finished coloring in those leaves. And this is why I use the Amalgam ink, because it is Copic friendly. And I do have a little bit of a branch on there, so I came in with an E57 and just carefully went over those small lines where the branches are. Once that's colored up, I'm going to use the coordinating die and die cut this out to add to the card. So I'll just grab some purple tape and hold this in place, lining up my leaves and the bottom of the pear so it'll have a nice clean white edge around it once it's cut. And then run that through my die cutting machine. Okay, so for the background, I want to add my sentiment. Now I'm lining up where my pears are going to go, and I'm going to work my sentiment around that. I'm keeping to the bottom right hand panel of my card. Once I have that lined up, I'm going to remove my pears so I don't get any ink on them. And I started off with the amalgam ink to try and stamp this on, but because I have so much ink on here, that white pigment ink does take a long time to dry. I wasn't getting a very good impression. Thank goodness for the MISTI. I tried it again. It still wasn't showing up. So I'm going to grab my VersaFine ink, and I was really holding my breath when I did this because I didn't want to have to redo this. You can see I'm pausing, taking a deep breath, hoping that nothing moved. And that's the beauty of having a stamping tool for doing this. And this stamped out perfectly and lined up perfectly. And so my pears are matched up really well against that sentiment. So I'll go ahead and take the Gina K Designs tape runner and add my little pears there off on the side. And I'll just trim off that excess that's hanging over. I kind of like doing that, having a little bit of the image cut off. It's kind of a look that I really enjoy. Now that my front panel is ready, I'm going to go ahead and attach this to a card base. So something I recently purchased are these pre-cut panels from Gina K Designs. I love these. They're already cut into strips, so 4 1/4 by 11, and I just need to add a score line and fold, and then I'll go ahead and attach my panel to the card base. So I really hope you enjoy taking a look at how to make this bokeh background. I'll have all of the supplies listed down below in the video description and on my blog as well. Thank you again for stopping by. Please click the thumbs up button if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.